I had my first girlfriend when I was 17. At the time, I was living with my mom after my parents divorced when I was 11. One Friday, I asked my girlfriend if she wanted to go on a date, and she immediately said yes. We both had part-time jobs. I worked at a local grocery store, and she worked at a Starbucks. We usually worked day shifts, balancing our jobs with being seniors in high school. The reason I asked her out that particular day was simple. It was Friday. We barely had any homework, and I just wanted to spend time with her. After work, I drove to her house, picked her up, and we went to a small restaurant about 10 minutes from where I lived. It wasn't anything fancy, honestly. It was all I could afford, but we ate, talked, and enjoyed ourselves. Afterwards, we headed back to her place to hang out. By then, it was already dark. She complained that the date felt short, and I explained I couldn't take her anywhere else that cost money. After a moment, we agreed on something simple, a night drive. So we got in my car and just drove. Through town first, then onto some quiet road that led deep into the woods. Eventually, the pavement ended, leaving us on a dirt road with nothing but trees and darkness surrounding us. That's when it hit me. I had to pee badly. My girlfriend admitted she did too, so I pulled over. The moment we stepped out of the car, an awful, indescribable smell hit us. It was strong enough to make her gag. I tried brushing it off, assuming maybe someone else had stopped there earlier. I told her we'd pee quickly and get back into town. We found a small flat spot beside the road and did our business. As we were walking back toward the car, we heard something, a twig, snapping to our left. Instantly, my mind went to animals. We hurried, almost jogging, back to my car. But before I could even grab the door handle, a scream tore through the woods. A scream of fear or pain, and it came from the exact spot where we had just been. My girlfriend panicked, urging me to get in the car, but I didn't want her to feel unsafe. I told her to get in, lock the doors, and I'd check it out. She begged me not to go, but I went anyway. I walked toward the area where we heard the sound, and the scream echoed again, louder this time. It was much closer, and in that moment, whatever courage I thought I had disappeared. It came from the same direction as the twig snap. Instead of walking further, I pulled out my phone, turned on the flashlight, and quickly took a picture. The flash illuminated the darkness for a split second, and that was enough. A man stood there, a man wearing a white shirt with black stripes. Right in front of him was something covered with a blue tarp. He wasn't moving. He wasn't speaking. He was just standing there, staring. I didn't wait to see anything else. I sprinted back to the car, unlocked it, jumped inside, threw it into drive, and floored it. My girlfriend kept asking what happened, but I was too shaken to say anything. I just needed to get us away from that place. When we got back into town, the shady side, I finally slowed down, then drove her home. Inside her room, I told her what I saw. I showed her the picture, and her face went pale. She was just as horrified as I was. She let me stay the night, partly because it was Friday and we had no work or school the next day, but mostly because neither of us felt safe being alone after what we saw. Even now, at 23 and her being 22, we're no longer together. But that night was something we never forgot. And somehow, despite no longer being a couple, we stayed best friends. It remains the scariest moment of my life. It was late summer of 2011. I was almost 19, spending the evening with my best friend, who was a few years younger. We lived in a quiet, rural part of southwestern Virginia, just about 15 minutes from Mount Airy, North Carolina. Around here, everything closes early 10 p.m., and the entire town goes silent. If you want entertainment after that, you've got to create your own. Luckily, that had never been a problem for us. The night started harmlessly enough. We went to the mall, then cruised through town hoping to meet some girls. Typical teenage boy stuff. When that went nowhere, we settled for bowling until closing time. After that, we headed to Main Street a little before midnight, wandering through back alleys and acting like the edgy rebels we imagined ourselves to be, but we never truly felt unsafe. Violent crime in this area is practically non-existent. Eventually, we got bored and went to Waffle House, the only place still open. After eating and making a quick stop at Walmart, neither of us wanted to end the night, so we did what we always did, drove around the backcountry roads. The road we chose wasn't unfamiliar, but I'd only driven it once during the day. It started in North Carolina, then crossed back into Virginia, where it turned into dirt. Like most dirt roads around here, the county barely maintains it. Heavy rains wash out sections, so you have to drive slow, especially at night. Since we didn't know the road well, we were crawling along. Even so, it felt like any other backwoods road, dark, empty, and quiet. At this time of night, traffic is non-existent, and with only a few houses scattered miles apart, we didn't expect to see anyone. The road sits at the bottom of a small mountain, surrounded by trees. At night, you can't even see the houses, unless lights are on. We had driven nearly the whole stretch when something caught our attention, a single porch light burning. Just as we passed it, both of us noticed a man standing under the light. We couldn't make out his features, but we could clearly see he was staring at us, not moving, not shifting, except for his head, which followed us as we rolled by. His stillness, the way he watched us, made the hair on my neck stand up. We tried to brush it off as someone stepping outside for a cigarette, but something about him felt wrong. It wasn't what he was doing, but how he was doing it. Nothing happened, but the uneasiness lingered. We picked up speed, wanting to shake off that image. A few minutes later, the dirt road ended and merged onto a paved road I knew very well. One I drove weekly. Turning right, we instantly felt more relaxed. The road runs along a ridge with gorgeous views, and being on familiar ground helped us forget the man. After a couple miles, we reached the end of that road and turned right again, heading toward home. This road was darker and more wooded, but I had traveled it thousands of times. I wasn't nervous at all. That changed fast. Up ahead, something appeared in the distant reach of my headlights. Around here, deer are everywhere, so we slowed down automatically. But as we got closer, it looked too white to be a deer. Sometimes you spot the rare albino, so we still didn't think much of it. Then we got closer and realized it wasn't an animal at all. It was a person, hunched over, walking in the left lane against traffic, just like pedestrians are supposed to. My friend muttered, "What the hell are they doing walking out here at this time of night?" I looked back to the road, and that's when I saw her clearly. It was an older woman, maybe mid-40s to late 50s, with long, scraggly gray hair. She wore a white t-shirt and white pants, both filthy. She kept her back to us until we were maybe 50 feet away. Then she turned. Her face looked wrong. Deep eye sockets, dark, heavy bags under her eyes, greasy hair, weathered skin. She looked exhausted, sick, or strung out. I don't want to say she was on drugs, but that's exactly the impression she gave. Before we could react, she threw her hands in the air and started sprinting toward us, waving frantically. As she came closer, the headlights lit her up, and that's when we saw it. Her shirt and pants were covered in what looked like dried blood, and in one of her hands, she had what looked like a large knife. The bravado we had earlier vanished instantly. I floored it. We didn't even look back. We didn't slow down until we hit the main highway. We were so terrified that instead of driving the usual 5-minute route to my house, we took a 35-minute detour just in case she somehow followed us. It was an irrational thought, but fear doesn't care about logic. In a small community like ours, you recognize almost everybody. We had never seen that woman before, and we never saw her again. We checked the local news for days afterward, expecting some report about a bloody woman found wandering the road, but nothing ever came up. To this day, I cannot explain who she was, why she was walking alone at nearly 4 a.m., why she was covered in blood, or what she was carrying. I don't want to know. Fast forward to now. I live with my wife on the peaceful ridge road between the two roads where those incidents happened. I drive one of them almost daily. I've never seen the woman again, but earlier this year, a massive drug and cockfighting operation was busted just down the road from where we saw the man on the porch. Was he a lookout? Was it the same house? Were those people there back in 2011? I have no idea, but I've wondered about it more than once. As for that woman, I hope I never encounter her again.